On Thursday, the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa announced the completion of the spectrum audit. The three-day bidding process was attended by network operators Cell C, Liquid, MTN, Rain Networks, Telkom and Vodacom. Icasa had anticipated an 8 billion rand profit from the spectrum auction process. Instead, it raised an incredible 14.4 billion rand. This is expected to bring down the cost of data while increasing its speed. However, Mark Weinberg from the Yetu Infotech Collective says the government has put profit before the people. And he joins us now to respond to this announcement. Mark, good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. Let us start with that issue where you are saying that profit has been put ahead of the people.
Well, the spectrum, I think we commonly know it as the airwaves, is a limited national resource that belongs to the state. And what we've seen here is an outright privatization, handing over a very valuable national asset to big corporations. So it's really, we can expect another 2 decades of the kind of profiteering and high data costs that we've seen from the likes of Vodacom and MTN in the past decades.
And we know, Mark, that it was bought by Vodacom, MTN and Telkom. About 75% of the spectrum was bought by those three networks. So you're saying that we shouldn't really see much of a change, but do you think that there was something that government in itself could have done to ensure that there is a broader sense or a broader buy-in when it comes to the spectrum?
Well, over 2/3 are now controlled by MTN and Vodacom. So the same problem we've had of a duopoly setting the prices for airtime and data is set to continue. What could government have done? I mean, we believe that the spectrum is a national resource and should be treated as a utility, that government itself should be maintaining networks and should be offering internet connection to the public the same way they maintain the roads. It's really a basic good. It enables the economy, and Vodacom and MTN are going to strangle the economy, squeezing out their own profit.
Do you think that there could possibly be an increase then in what we are currently paying for data?
No, look, historically and globally, the price of data is falling and it will continue to fall. But the speed at which it falls is going to be slowed by, I mean, MTN and Vodacom both have a long history of profiteering. We had to go to the Competition Commission to get them to force to lower their data costs. So by giving them all this power, we're really putting our future in some dangerous hands.
Could the internet, by any chance, Mark, could we have faster internet speed now with this kind of buy-in?
Well, yes, the spectrum that has been auctioned is the spectrum we need for 5G, which should give faster mobile internet. Unfortunately, MTN is already saying their target is to serve 60% of the country. So, you know, in the most unequal country in the world, the remaining 40% are going to remain without fast mobile internet. Then, of course, everyone in South Africa should be having access to fiber, which is by far the fastest and cheapest access to the internet. And at the moment, it's in government's hands to roll out fiber. They're pursuing yet again a strategy of privatization, giving the private sector companies the task of rolling out fiber. And again, the poor majority are going to be the very last to see the service. They will remain trapped by the mobile operators, paying very high prices for mobile data.
Mark, how would you have liked to see this play out?
Look, we live in the country we live in. The president is a big business president. I think we would have liked to see things play out very, very differently. We don't believe an auction is the appropriate way to allocate this national resource. We think it should have been managed as a utility, and it should have been provided as a public good. Now it's in the hands of the big corporates, and they're going to be looking to maximize their profits.
Do you foresee any benefits, Mark, to this situation and how things have now played out? I mean, you speak now about how it is in the big corporates' hands, but are there any benefits at this stage for South Africans as to how this has played out?
Yeah, well, it's the fact that the spectrum can now be used is a massive step forward. This is spectrum that we do need to deliver high-speed data services, and without a doubt, I think it's taken 17 years for us to, 17 years was the last time we did spectrum licensing. So it's long overdue, and South Africans will see better and cheaper internet, without a doubt. That's the way the world is going.
Mark, we keep mentioning the word spectrum. For those that don't completely understand which direction we are going or what exactly we are referring to, just help us break down that particular area where you say that the spectrum has now this and this has happened with the spectrum.
Yeah, so the spectrum is what normal people call the airwaves. It's the frequency that you use to broadcast television, radio, and data. So it's really the raw material that MTN and Vodacom are using. It's a natural phenomenon in the airs, and it is limited, and it is owned by the state. It would be like if the government were to privatize 2/3 of all the land in the country overnight. Land is a limited natural resource and a very valuable one. So that's really what we're talking about here, the privatization of the airwaves.
All right, Mark Weinberg from the Yetu Infotech Collective, thank you so much for your time this morning.